I could cut the eager anticipation with a knife. What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for a review of the debut album by the rock and roll band Greta Van Fleet. It's titled Anthem of the Peaceful Army. A huge thank you to Xfiro and their XS2 wireless waterproof Bluetooth headphones for sponsoring today's video. Click the top link in the description down below and use coupon code ARTV10 for a magical 10% off discount on your order. You've probably heard a lot of chatter, either good or bad, about the young band Greta Van Fleet over the past year or two. They've seen a ton of success with their songs such as Safari Song, Highway Tune, Black Smoke Rising, and even the lead single from this album, Anthem of the Peaceful Army, When the Curtain Falls. They're a band that often get compared to Rush and obviously Led Zeppelin because of the lead singer Josh Kiszka and the comparisons to the voice of Robert Plant of Led Zeppelin. It's kind of inevitable, and I like the spirit of this band. I think a lot of people are just going to needlessly shit talk them or talk down on them because they do sound like other bands, but I, at the very least, always wanted to give them a chance. I wanted to hear what they had to say. In terms of new sonic territories and exploration on this debut LP, I wouldn't say that they're rewriting the rules of what songs are, but there are promising signs that do show us that there's something more to come from this young band. Overall, you're going to hear a lot of very rhythmic, shiny guitars with some flashy solos. The singer has a lot of flair to his voice too, and he definitely pulls out all the stops on some of these tracks like Mountain of the Sun and even Lover Lever, which is one of my favorites. You get an extended version on the album version, which is called Lover, Lever, Taker, Believer, and it's a fantastic tune that really sees them kind of going into almost a proggy jam band territory. You're definitely going to get a huge dose of rock and roll when you hit play on this record. You hear that right away from the opening track, Age of Man, which is a little bit of a longer exploration in terms of songwriting and something a little bit new for the band. I feel like quite often they try to explore and go out on a limb with writing longer songs, but they often don't truly execute, and they kind of fail to stick the landing because many of these tracks just feel like they're wandering as they go on. The songwriting approach on this LP probably isn't going to turn any heads. In fact, it'll probably roll some eyes from some rock fans out there who are looking for something a little bit more. It definitely pays homage to that classic way of writing songs and the way that the lyrics flow. There's a lot about peace, about energy, about love and reflection. And as these songs come out, especially on cuts like You're the One, I just find things to be so basic. I feel like sometimes they're just trying to paint up a house and make it look flashy, but that doesn't change the fact that on the inside, it's just empty. I'm grateful that the band's publicist and label was able to send me this record in advance because I definitely needed some repeated listens to truly see how I felt about it. At first, I felt it was a little bit more of like background styled music, and that's definitely kind of a negative, a detractor right away. And overall, those sentiments haven't entirely dissipated for me, but the more you play it, I think the more charm that the record starts to present. It's one of those albums that doesn't necessarily always connect the dots, but when it does line up, you can see that they're on their A game, and they have something about them that's more than just a Led Zeppelin ripoff or a young band trying out somebody else's style. The sad reality is that the songs are not quite there as a whole. There are tracks that definitely get the job done, like Lover, Lever, Taker, Believer. That song Inside It Out has definitely hooked me and has me captivated. But then there's other moments like You're the One or even The Cold Wind where I just find myself twiddling my thumbs or getting easily distracted from the music because it's not that engaging. They have their influences, and when they're able to hone them and actually make them something else that sounds maybe a little bit distinct, then that's when this album wins. But more often than not, I would say that the album kind of feels like it's imitating other things rather than being itself. And at times that can be an okay thing because I do have love for classic rock and I enjoy the vibe of the 60s, of the 70s, of the hippie era that they're kind of imitating and going for with the peaceful vibes and everything else, the aura that they're trying to exude, but sometimes it can just be a bit overbearing. When the Curtain Falls was the lead-off single from this LP, and it's a track that I find to be just okay. It's nothing all that special, it's kind of entertaining in the guitar department, the chorus kind of gets embedded in your head the more you play it, and it's one of those songs for me that doesn't necessarily push the bar up or down, or really change my opinion of Greta Van Fleet overall. And that was kind of hard to see, considering it was the lead single, the one that was kind of meant to present what they had been working on, the fact that they rewrote all of the tracks that they've been working on, and just basically started 75% new in 2018. I do think Age of Man is a pretty thrilling opener. It's a track that does run a bit long, coming in at about 6 minutes. It probably feels a bit tedious, especially after a couple of listens, but there's promising signs of life there that show us that there's more to come on the LP. There's definitely other great tracks and moments that I have to praise, like Mountain of the Sun. The chorus on that is so catchy, but still kind of familiar at the same time. And the only complaint I have for that track is at the end, when Kiska really tries to exaggerate his voice and just keeps going, over and over again. He really holds out that note, and it's like, please don't do that again. Watching Over is a dominant, brooding track that definitely sees them trying new things, and when they play around a little bit more like that and just feel like they're jamming and coming up with a new spirit for Greta Van Fleet, that's when this LP is at its most enjoyable. Songs such as that, and also Anthem, which definitely feels like it's time to get in the hippie circle and get your hands together and sing to the moon, because everything's aligning here. But I also cannot deny the fact that I like songs about peace, especially at a time like this. We truly need the hippie movement to come back. The Canadian band Rush had to have been the biggest influence on the track Brave New World that comes near the end of this record. It's a song that definitely does not sound bad. In fact, I feel like it's going into that kind of conquistador territory. It feels like we're about on the edge of something, on the verge of doing something big. I really can't complain all that much though, because I do like Rush and I do like Led Zeppelin, and I feel like we get a lot of that, and also just some straight up rock and roll vibes that feel like they're pulling from the energy and relying on the energy of decades prior, and that doesn't always bother me, but at the same time, I just feel like I'm stuck somewhere in the middle. Guys, overall, to be quite honest, this Greta Van Fleet LP left me torn. Anthem of the Peaceful Army definitely has some good tracks, some ones that I definitely see myself coming back to in the future, but I also understand other people's gripes and problems. Try and go in as open-minded as you can. That's how I approach the LP, and honestly, I did have fun with it. I'd be lying if I said I didn't have a good time while listening. I just don't know that it has that good of a shelf life, or that it will in the future, because the songs do feel a bit derivative of other styles. For me personally, I am rating this a 3 out of 5, a strong one at that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and of course, if there's other albums you want to see me tackle, then drop a comment. That's gonna do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into my review of the debut album Anthem of the Peaceful Army by Greta Van Fleet. If you want to see my first reaction to this band, then tap right here, or tap right over here to see another recent rock review by The Struts. Other than that, all of my social media, including my Patreon and Twitch, are linked down below, and I'll see you soon for more on ARTV.